We're so excited to be here today in Dallas, and we're in Katia Gonzalez's Dondolo store, and so excited to be here to celebrate our collaboration together. We had so much fun, and we thought it would be a great opportunity to do one of our Creative Club conversations and really be able to sit down and chat with you and hear a little bit more about how you developed this beautiful brand. So I'm so thrilled to be here with you today. Thank you.
Me and the whole Dondolo women team, we're so excited to have you and your team here in Dallas to welcome you and celebrate this incredible collaboration. It really, I think that Dondolo as a company has grown so much from your knowledge and from everything that you have, that you inspire us to do and shared with us. So we're extremely grateful and very honored.
I have to say, I've known you for several years now, and to watch your journey and just the growth of the brand is super exciting. And to now be on our second collaboration is even more fun. So I love to be able to sort of share a little bit behind the scenes and what your process looks like. And I have watched you evolve this brand, and it's really exciting. And I know that you work very closely with female artisans, and you have a wonderful female team. And I'd love to just hear a bit more about how you started the brand. I think that you've been doing this for almost 8 years.
I have. It's so how it started on the desired and on really the want to give back and to do something in Colombia that was meaningful and that was gonna, help children and help women. And that's how it started. And then, how, I just had my first baby boy. So I was like, well, what about selling children's clothing? Seems easy. I have one, everybody needs, some cute clothes. And that's how it started. It started with a website, and we only sold it right there in the website. And then it's when the change happened, of like, okay, what is it that I want to do with this business that I created from zero, from the logo that is, Dondolo means swing. And it was very important when we created it to be like, when you give, it comes back to you, that swinging motion of love.
So I didn't know all the history behind that. I think that's really special.
Thank you. And I think that one of our core values is love. And that's what we share so much between brands. And I think it's our values well as women. So I think, that's what kind of like made the brand to become bigger. And then we started, so the website didn't work, I had
and it's
all
I think one of the things that you're very vulnerable about is to share the good and the challenges, and that is a part of business and evolution and getting better. And so I love that you're very generous with that.
Well, thank you. I love helping people. I think I have a just a calling for, helping other moms, helping other women. Whenever I receive a DM of like, I'm starting a business, do you mind talking to me? And I'm like, sure, let's go and talk. I just, I'm coming from Mexico to live in Dallas. Can I talk to you? Can I have lunch? And I'm like, yes, I would love to. So I love that. I love connecting.
I'm watching you. That is one of your greatest gifts. You bring a joy to that, and you are just so generous to share sort of what your process has been and how you've learned. And I'm curious, when you've sat down with these women and they sort of, have their list of questions, what do you think has been the most challenging thing about starting a brand from scratch?
I think that one of the most challenging was, being here and not knowing how to connect, not knowing how to start, and I keep hearing it back from them. Like, how did you get started with influencers? How did you connect it with people? And I think how we met and what you do for other female entrepreneurs is so incredible, because that's how, I kind of started.
Love that.
It truly was. So I went from being, a website that sold nothing of Peruvian Pima cotton things to a wholesale business that we were wholesale for 5 years, and it was incredible. And then when we decided to go retail was when literally we went to a creative camp.
I love that. And I don't think that I knew that was sort of a pivot point for you.
It was like we went 2020. Well, I'm sorry, 2019 was it? It was 2019.
Yes.
September 2019 when we went to your creative club, and it was when we said, okay, this is a plan for us. And like whenever you told me, you want to do women's, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a dream. This is what I've been dreaming of. So.
Well, I want to tag on and share a little bit about that journey and something that I think is such a lesson to share with people that I remember from when we first met. I think that you went out of your way to be very connecting and introduce yourself and talk. And I think sometimes that's really intimidating for people. And so I think you stand out when you take the step to do that first thing that might feel a little bit awkward or hard or out of your comfort zone. And you just had an incredible joy and light about you and what you do, and you shared that story and journey. And I do remember us sitting down and chatting, and what you were starting with was so beautiful with your children's line. And I so vividly remember saying to you, I would love to do like some sort of beautiful smocked women's product with you. But the difference is, I think, that really sets you apart. So many people have that conversation and never follow through. And I think it was like 3 weeks to the day. You're like, I'm ready, let's go, I have it. And so I think that is such a something to learn from about you, and it's been so joyful to be able to do that together. So we're incredibly grateful.
No, we are grateful, really. But one of the things that I was going to mention is that yes, it is super scary. Yeah. It is, and for everyone, like like new business, like wanting to connect, wanting to start a conversation, wanting to like knock on doors. Yeah. It's extremely scary. It's for me, like I have an accent. I'm from Colombia. Sometimes I feel like the only Latin American woman in the room, and I think that those moments challenge me a lot. Mm-hmm. But I think I've found the most growth also. And I think going to that creative camp was 100% going out of the comfort zone and doing something different. But also having an amazing team that supported me, that was like, yes, we can do retail, we can do direct to consumer. I remember that when that change happened, I was, literally with Minzy, run sales, and Carolina, who did the whole rebranding right at that moment. And they were like, no, we can do it. So being able to have, and I always tell, other women entrepreneurs, like, what is it that I was like, just hire one person that you truly believe that they're great at what they're doing.
That is really great advice.
To be able to, be there for you.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's really challenging to start a business, and I think you've done a beautiful job of also surrounding yourself with really talented women that believe in what you're doing, and that all add a different piece of the puzzle to help bring your brand to life. And it's really special to watch that.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it becomes like not what I want or what I believe in, but it's like, it becomes the company, and it becomes like the whole values and what we're working all together for. Yeah. And I think that that's when magic starts happening. When, you're working for, not a person, but a whole community of like clients and women, and, the women who are embroidering it, and never forget that purpose and why you're doing this. I think is very special.
I love that. And so what inspires your creativity? I think that it's very challenging to start a brand, but you have to sort of reinvent what excites you for every collection that you do.
It's like, I love creating and I love challenges. I recently heard from a friend that whenever people live doing hard things in life, or things that challenge you, then they enjoy more everything else. I think I'm like that. I kind of like and love the challenge. I think my personality, I'm a Sagittarius, but I love that. So I think that being able to always be searching and always be looking for, and always, like whenever we have problems, which we have almost every day here at Dondolo, or not problems, but
with any brand. I mean, I think that there's always that learning.
The learning curve, or just like opportunities to grow. Whenever we have those opportunities to grow and learn is when, things just get better. And yes, it's, like, it's hard as a small brand because it becomes expensive, or we should have done this, or we should have done that. But I think those are the places where you grow the most and where you learn the most and everything. But creativity, sorry. A lot of my creativity, I think, happens when I'm grounded. Mm-hmm. So when I go to vacations with my children, when I go to nature, when I go on hikes, when I go ski, like when I go to the beach,
travel is such an inspiration.
Travel is a huge inspiration for me, and just being with my family, I enjoy, and I love being with my children. And
we can see, I love when you share sort of the behind the scenes of your family, and I think that is such a part of your brand and your process and how you bring things to life. So we love to see that. Mm-hmm. And I have a question for you, and I think it speaks to your creativity and sort of how you challenge yourself to do new things. But I remember when you said that you really wanted to do dishes and you were going to bring this to life as a part of the Dondolo brand. And to see this all now as part of our collection has been so much fun. But what a challenge to sort of do this. So will you tell us a little bit about that process and how you brought this to life?
Yes, I grew up, so my mom, I need to say this because my mom is originally from Andes, which is a tiny, tiny town in the mountains of Antioquia, which is, the capital is Medellin in Colombia. And the state will be Antioquia. And I always grew up going there to small towns there because it reminded my mom of where she was born and her heritage. And we always will stop in local restaurants, and then the pottery, the plates everywhere, everything was handmade there. And I always thought it was so beautiful. So when the time came and we went to your second creative camp, I was like, okay, what is next for us? What's coming? And I was like, okay, home, we're staying at home. I'm doing tablescaping. Again, from my mom, that love for, putting the table, setting up flowers, doing it all in colors, or however I felt that day during COVID was very, very important. So I think I went back to that, memory from childhood. I was told the person that is actually incredible in Colombia to find new vendors. And I was like, we need to find them. And they're made in a small town called El Carmen de Viboral, which is a tiny town in the mountains of Colombia. And why they do it, they learned from the Spaniards, in the colonial time, they brought that with them. So that's still how they make, plates and pottery and vases and everything there. And it's all hand painted.
You shared a video and it was so beautiful to watch that and to know that somebody is touching every one of the products that you create. It is truly an artisan. And I think that with all of your hand smocking, and that's such a special, unusual thing to see now. So I love that you celebrate that.
Thank you. I love being able to, give, not give work, but just employ that what we're doing here and how we're, people are buying our beautiful collection and our plates and everything. It's impacting so many more lives.
Yes.
And, it's kind of having this effect on a third world country that really needs it. Yeah. So, so that I think I love a lot about it.
I think that combination that you've spoken about, I love the celebration of women. I love that you're thinking about so many layers of what's important about making your brand come to life and the people that really create that. So it's very special. I'd love to hear a little bit more about, I know you have so many you go a mile a minute, so I know there's a zillion things that you have on the horizon, but if you wanted to share maybe one or two things you're excited about coming up for the brand in the upcoming year.
Yes, so we have another collaboration coming up for the summer, for the end of the summer, and it's gonna be exciting, very exciting.
You have a joy that comes across your face. So we're counting the minutes to hear all about it.
I think our whole team loves working with other women-owned brands because we learn so much, from them, and we're also very inspired, like we are with you, to work,
I think women inspire one another,
yes.
and find the people, find the women that you want to surround yourself with that I think help push you further, help challenge you, help think differently. We're better together, for sure.
100%. So, and I think right now we have been growing, doing collaboration after collaboration after collaboration. I think we're starting to be in a point in the company where we're going to keep doing what we do best, and kind of deciding of how much, how we always had been having that part of everything sells out, and how do we do more without doing too much, so we're in that point of how do we grow? How do we grow as a company to be healthy and to be healthier? And also to be able to accommodate not only to my life as a mom, which is my priority, my children's, but also to the team's life.
So important.
Because, we give 4 weeks of vacation a year because that's what I wanted for my company. So yes, a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I'm trying to create
in all the best ways, Kata.
Well, thank you. But I'm trying to create something that maybe could be different, but it could work for working moms or women that are not too long ago. Somebody came in the team and she was like, oh my goodness, you were the first person that the first employee that didn't ask me if I wanted to get pregnant. And I was like, what? Why? And I was like, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, that is so weird. I'm not gonna carry your baby or pay for it or anything, so I don't need to. I'm just gonna, if it comes to Dondolo, you can bring him or her anytime because the baby will be in my arms.
I think that's such an important part of your culture, and one of the things one of the many ways that you're incredibly inspiring. So to watch you with your incredible team and your friends, and everybody has such a love for you, Kata, because I think that you're so generous and joyful, and truly that is an incredibly special characteristic. So I know that we've got to wrap this up, and we've just been so excited to spend 48 hours with you. So much fun, but I think we'll end with a rapid fire couple of questions that would be fun, and I know that people want to hear a little bit more about. So, favorite color?
My goodness, blue.
Perfect. Okay. Well done. Favorite hotel? I know you travel a ton, and so I'm always sort of excited to see where you're going next. And what
I think that right now the Amangiri. I think I was there in December, and I think it's still, I haven't been somewhere else that I've been completely.
Really? Okay, well that's high praise. So we'll all be checking that out. Things that you collect.
Clothing tags.
Because you like branding that,
I love being
packaging
like
is everything,
the packaging,
right?
like the texture. And I remember when with Kata we were redoing the tags, I brought her 10. She was like, oh, okay, this is great.
We've thought about this a little bit.
Yeah,
but I think you are
that.
very tuned into all the details. And I remember the first time that I received a package from you, and your receipts and every single sort of part of your collateral package really spoke to your brand DNA. And I think it is those details that are so incredibly special. So very memorable.
And we also try, I had a friend today here, and she was like, oh my goodness, take one of the bags. I don't need the two. I know these are very expensive. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they are. They are actually. So give it back to me. But it's hard to not go into the route of do it in China.
Yeah.
And even our packaging is done in Colombia.
And
not our shipping boxes, they're done actually here. in the US, but you know, everything else is designed in Colombia, is printed in Colombia by a small women-owned company. So I think that you know, sometimes people, it's like, you know, price points and, you know, how do we put them? How do we, you know, get the profit that we need, or those questions. And I'm like, well, you need to first know who you want to work with and where you actually want to spend your money and how you want to spend your money. So if you're doing an event, who are you gonna like hire, you know? So yeah, same with packaging, I think.
And I love, I mean, you stay true to that in everything that you touch. And I think that that's incredibly thoughtful and important, a really important part of your brand DNA, really. So special.
We're gonna keep trying.
Well, we've so enjoyed spending time with you, and it was just lovely to be behind the scenes in your store and enjoy all of your incredible team and incredible customers, and really get to meet people in person. So we're so grateful. You inspire me daily, and I can't wait to follow along and see all the exciting things that you have coming up in the next couple of months. So again, thank you for having us.
No, and I'm the one full of gratitude and so honored for you and your team to be here. And you know, you're like a mentor to me, you know, and you inspire so many more women that you.
Okay, well, the feeling is so mutual. So it's just been too much fun. So thank you. More to come.
Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow's the launch.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we really get to celebrate. Yes. Okay, we can't wait to share all the fun things with you.
Yes, please go into dondolo.com tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time.
Love it. Thank you, everybody.